Hey everyone, it's Scott with Dallas Sound Guys. We are in Dallas, Texas for a corporate event, and I thought I'd show you around and see what we brought. First off, this client, this is year number 5 helping them out. Started first here in Dallas, then we were in Colorado Springs for an event, in Nashville, Tennessee, and in Orlando, Florida. Now we're back in Dallas. Everyone's at lunch right now, so I thought I'd do a quick run through of what we've got going on. For sound, we're using the Minus M32R that I like to use. We've got 6 mic inputs. We've got some music playback. I was set up for PC playback, but in their slides they didn't have any audio. A couple things that I'm doing. If we take a look at the matrix, this is actually a saved setting from the Orlando show, but you know, I tweaked things for this event here. Left and right's actually not being used. For this room, I'm just using a center speaker. I'll show you that in a moment. Mono was actually something I was sending to our videographer for his record, and then I set up a separate matrix just for recording off of the board in case I needed to switch anything with that. Actually, if I look at the buses, I have a bus set up for lavs and a bus set up for handhelds. That way in here, I could do some separate EQ in case I had to switch between a lav and a handheld, that some of the EQ was already taken care of in the subgroup. So for wireless, we're using 6 channels of Shure Axient Digital. Again, I've got, for this event, mostly using 2 body packs with headsets, and then 4 handhelds that are for audience mics, Q&A mics, or just sometimes if it's easier than a headset, or you know, someone doesn't have a preference for a headset. I've had a lot of people ask about this. First off, the case that I have, these 2 tabs have magnets in it. That way when it just kind of, you know, stands in a tabletop position, it's just meant for, you know, for it to stay in that spot. But I found it sticks actually really well to metal. And so I control the board with the faders, but often I might have either just an individual EQ here because it's easier to draw with my finger perhaps than it might be to use the knobs. Or if I'm just looking at inputs here, I might have my matrix here in case I need to mute the sub or turn that off or whatnot. Quickly for video, I'm using the client's laptop with their presentations, and the Blackmagic Duo screen is just so I can see what's going on. I usually don't set up like a preview monitor. This works well for me. And this is super simple. We're just going between a presentation and then just like a logo slide. That's what I have up on the screen right now. And then we can, you know, change, put the next presentation in, come out of logo or so on. The switcher is the Blackmagic Design Constellation 2 ME. And the reason I'd gotten that a while ago is just for super source. It doesn't get used all the time, but I at least like having it. And it's just got a ton of inputs. I think we got 20 inputs and 10 outputs, so we can do pretty much anything we need. Using a perfect cue to advance through the slides, and the client just really loves that because actually they were just used to up by where they're presenting to have their laptop up there, having to stand at the laptop and advance it on their own. But we don't have to do that, so that works out well. Speaker system that we're using today. So actually, technically, yesterday, day 1, I had this set up to actually like stage right to house left. But I gotta tell you, every time someone presented, the speaker is a microphone magnet where they want it to stand underneath it. And it was a real challenge with feedback. So yesterday at the end of the day, I moved it over here. Now, mostly for the last, well, for a long time, I've been using the JBL VRX 932 LAPs. And I think I'm moving on. This is the second event where I'm using the JBL SRX 906 LA. I gotta tell you, I really, really like them. About a week and a half ago, I did an event where it was really weird, but I went side by side. On stage left, I had the SRX 906, and on stage right, or actually vice versa, but I had the VRX 932 LAP just to hear the difference. I feel like the VRX was much more airy, if that's a way to describe it. Like it, I wouldn't call it a hiss, but the VRX had that type of sound to it, and this just didn't. So I'm not saying if that's good or bad, but I think this sounds fantastic. The red cable is actually a CAT cable, so it is connected. Super amazing feature that these SRX 906 have. is that you can control them from your laptop or from your iPad with their, what's it called, the Performance app. There's a lot of really cool in-depth tuning things that you can do with it, and I think that's really interesting. If you know me, I like to get nerdy on stuff and perhaps overcomplicate things just to have some more control over stuff. So pretty cool. True line array, moving on from the constant curvature line array from the VRX to this. So just excited to get even more boxes and see what I can do with that. Playbacks on my MacBook Pro. I use Megaseg, and actually on the left, the client had a playlist they'd made on Spotify, so I've been bouncing back and forth through them. One thing I want to mention, I have the Rode Wireless Go 2 mics, and with this client, ever since year one, I place a Rode mic on the main presenter, not to use as a microphone, but as a recording device. Because when I give them my recording from the board, I also give them a recording of this, and they're really different. And 1 year, they felt that the headset was picking up a lot of like the HVAC in the room, and this one didn't. And so it was their preferred recording. So that's good just to have a variety with that. Real quick, some lighting control using the Obey 6. It's a 6-channel super simple mixer, which works out well because my lighting, I've got the Blizzard Skybox EXA lights, so it's a 6-color light, red, green, blue, white, amber, and UV, and so this is just really, it's an ideal board for what I do with that. The projector and screen is from the venue, and I brought the pipe and drape. It looked a little funky behind there. They had some box type thing with a railing around it. So we covered that up, and then I actually have a sub behind there. I do have an SRX 918S that's due to come in today while I'm here working, or in the next couple days. So for today, I have a single VRX 918, what is that, an SP, I believe. Once again, getting nerdy on you. And I think it sounds fantastic. It's just for music playback. So this is an event we have generally between 50 to 75 people. I think it looks really good. I think it sounds really good, and just super happy to be here. So hey, thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions, why did you do that, or what were you thinking, or even suggestions or ideas, I'm all ears. I love helping people. I love helping people sound their best. I love learning. I love trying to correct anything that might come up. For example, when this speaker, again, was just set up over here, goodness, everyone just felt the need to stand underneath it if they had something to share. And at the end of the day, I'm like, man, I just got to move that. And with the distance, of course, I was able to get the volume that we needed without running into any hint of ringing or feedback. When we conclude this afternoon, on this wall, they have Post-it notes of things where I have a service to offer, or there's something that I'm looking for. It's a really cool part of the program that they do. Well, people are going to be standing here constantly and sharing, and so the speaker here, I just knew that was going to be a problem. It's a small enough room that it works to be over here. Not common, that someone would be presenting here and kind of back of the room to have a speaker. It was just required for today. But again, I think that's something fascinating, that you might have something where you're like, man, I just feel like this is a stumbling block. It's like, okay, how can you fix it? What's the best thing we can do? And in my opinion, that was the best thing, and this morning worked out fantastic. If you have any questions, let me know, and we'll catch you on the next one.